Hi guys, RDMF Jones here. Got a beer on the back deck. Just did some testing today on this right here. This right here is the KE Arms one-piece monolithic polymer lower receiver, and I've mated it to an AT3 Tactical SPEAR billet aluminum upper half, upper receiver, and then a AT Tactical SPEAR billet handguard with a lightweight faxon barrel on it. I've also got an AT3 Tactical RCO, which stands for Ruggedized Combat Optics, I think. So anyway, here's the thing. If you look at this rifle, you might notice it's a little dinged up. For instance, that AT3 Tactical looks like it's got some damage there, and if I look on this side, there's some damage here. That's because we did some testing today. So how do you test something like that, particularly compared to the aluminum receiver? There's an interview that just premiered on YouTube in its entirety, actually, from a channel called Bakelite and Waffles, and that channel actually came out with the original 1990 tape where Mikhail Kalashnikov met Eugene Stoner when they were talking about the AR-15. And during the conversation, Kalashnikov said, "Were you concerned because this is aluminum, the lower is aluminum, about durability?" Stoner's answer was, and this is the absolute truth, you can go look at it, Stoner's answer was, "Hey, it was good enough for the military. I believe the military's test was to drop the lower, or drop the receiver and the rifle from 3 meters. And when you drop the rifle from 3 meters onto concrete." So Kalashnikov said, it's funny when the designers see the rifle get dropped, it's like they get dropped. Everybody laughed. That test was the only evidence I could find of a military trial on the durability of the lower receiver. I have looked all over to try to find something else to say what the military actually tested this. So I said, okay, well, with the new lightweight polymer receiver, will it hold up to that test? That's what you're about to see. Now, I couldn't get 9 feet, which is 3 meters, roughly. I got about 8 3/4 feet. So a little better than 8.5 feet. And I dropped it straight onto concrete. So let's see how that looks. All right, 8.5 feet onto concrete. Optic come off. Did not stay on. However, more concerned about reliability. Yeah, don't tell me that polymer lower is not good to go. So where the optic was, it smeared the aluminum, and it also tore a piece off right here. But the lower, nothing. A little bit of scuff marks. It hit hard. We're good. And it still functions. Yeah, that the ejection port cover door kind of gave up the ghost too. It's not opening like it's supposed to. There's another rifle out there that really is the inspiration for this one. If you haven't looked at In-Range TV's What Would Stoner Do project, then you probably aren't familiar with that. And you don't know what I'm talking about. Go look at all the thought that went into this stuff. And I used a lot of their parts, but I used a few of my own. One of the things that was on the original What Would Stoner Do was a carbon fiber handguard. I looked at the carbon fiber handguard. I really dug deep into my wallet for a carbon fiber handguard. But the problem is that the carbon fiber handguard costs $375. Not only that, but when Recoil TV tested it, they completely crushed it the first time they drove over it with a car. Ready?
He's crazy.
Stop on it a while. Is it out?
Mm-hmm.
Bad round. I'd say that's a success. I said, you know what, that's a lot of money. And I wanted to know if the lemon was really worth the squeeze. So I decided to look at the AT3. With the AT3, this handguard and upper receiver, this handguard is only about 3.5 ounces heavier than the carbon fiber. And it didn't completely pancake. It did crush just a little bit. And I imagine if you had optics mounted up here, it would actually probably screw your optics up and you'd have to do some serious re-zeroing. However, with the optics, I didn't have to re-zero anything. It still worked just fine. And quite frankly, unless you're really looking at it, you can see how it's kind of crushed. But you really got to kind of look for it to get crushed. Okay? As far as the receiver, one chunk right there where it dug into the gravel. A couple chunks right here where it dug around that polymer handguard. A couple of chunks on the butt plate. Looks a little rough back here where it dug into the rocks. And on the other side, you can kind of make out tire tracks. And that's it. It worked just fine. And as far as the aluminum billet upper, no issues, no crushing, no nothing. You can see here, it's reinforced, triple reinforced. The only place where it really got dunged up was on the end of that handguard and it slightly crushed it. Barrel, 100% fine. And our old reliable A2 flash hider here, completely fine. The barrel actually did get run over by the car too, just at the end. It's not bent. And by the way, still functions just fine. Hate to tell you this, guys. This right here is the future. I am 100% convinced that the aluminum receiver is obsolete. There is absolutely no reason to own an aluminum receiver. So if you like this kind of stuff, I don't care. If you want to subscribe, I don't care, because I don't do any of this for you. I do it for me. Thanks.